Internet! Hello and welcome to this week's Coy Cubed. It is the last week of March. We are mere hours from April 2021. Spring looms. The world feels a little hopeful. Things are moving and grooving. I am very excited for spring. I am very excited for summer. We have rounded the lap of quarantine, lockdown, and hopeful things are looming. This week is a big news week. We've got a bunch of trailers to talk about. We've got not one, but two superhero shows to discuss because we are living in an abundance of riches when it comes to fiction. We had the Snyder Cut just last week. We had Falcon Winter Soldier start just last week. We just finished WandaVision. Now we are kicking off episode 2 of Falcon Winter Soldier Conversation, while 3 episodes of Invincible on Amazon drop. We have DC content, Marvel content, Image content. All sorts of indies are cooking up new stuff week after week. They just picked up Department of Truth to go to series. Lots of great stuff is coming from all sorts of comic book publishers, and I am so overjoyed to share my hype with you lovelies, and the thread chat is very lively today. It's good to see so many familiar names. I am very, very stoked to dive in. I'm going to kick it off first with a Streamlab from the great Michael McCarsell, who is going to talk about one of our headline titles of today's show, saying Starro, all caps. Starro, how are we actually getting Starro in a movie? Many exclamation points and question marks, which I agree with entirely. But seriously, the trailer was everything I wanted and more. Also, The Bad Batch. I absolutely can't wait for that show. Thank you, as always, to Michael McCarsell. He is the patron saint of watch-alongs, and we are doing a watch-along tomorrow for a movie that gentleman has never seen, and one of my favorite movies of all time. It is 2001's masterpiece, The First Fast and the Furious. I am very excited. We're going to do that tomorrow, probably around 6 p.m. PST, so you've got a full day to go get your Coronas, because you can have any beer you want, as long as it's a Corona. So tune in tomorrow, right here, same-ish bat time, same bat channel, for a full feature-length watch-along commentary of The Fast and the Furious. And hopefully I've got a Fast and the Furious announcement for you guys very soon in the coming weeks, because things might be cooking with that franchise and myself, and I'm very excited to update you there. So let's kick off with Michael McCarsell's Streamlab, leading right into the Suicide Squad trailer. You guys, Suicide Squad means a lot to me because it is the fun, insane, mythic elements I love from DC Comics, but in a blender of pure carnage and madness. And I really love that about the comic book, and I really love that James Gunn found that in his movie. We've waited for this trailer for literally years. The movie has, obviously been pushed due to COVID, but was filmed some time ago, and we only got a first look at the DC Fandom event, which was last year, and that first look was mind-blowing. It's this insane war epic with characters we know and love and a lot of new characters that non-comic fans don't know, but there were more questions than answers raised by that footage. This trailer, I mean, come on. Stallone is King Shark. Our first look at Ratcatcher. We've got Margot Robbie, in my opinion, the most authentic I've seen Harley Quinn on screen is in this 3-minute trailer. This is 2.5 minutes. This is 150 seconds. And I am so aware that James Gunn sees Harley Quinn like I do. I loved Birds of Prey. I'm actually a big defender of that movie. It made my top 10 that year. I love when she gets her time to flex those comedy and acting chops, because Margot Robbie's a genius. But the way they shot the character, her wardrobe in this setup, the introduction of the Rapunzel bit, the lack of damsel in distress without beating you over the head with it, because they were going to literally climb the side of a building to rescue a damsel in distress, but she got her out her own way, but was willing to go back so they'd feel like they helped. All of that genius storytelling, loved it so very much. And as Michael McCarsell said, Starro. We're living in a time where Thanos is known by grandparents, where Starro is going to be on the big screen, where not just Captain America had a movie, but we have a new Captain America, John Walker, U.S. agent, on a TV show weekly, and we all know to hate him, even though he's played by the incredible Wyatt Russell. We'll talk more about that show later, but we're living in an abundance of riches, so everyone needs to appreciate what a time it is to be alive. And from the Suicide Squad, we're going to get a broader DC Extended Universe. James Gunn has said very publicly, you don't need to have watched the first film to enjoy this one. You can. There's plenty of characters returning. You've got Boomerang, who was a runaway hit in the first one, obviously Margot Robbie. You've got enough things to tie it together, but at the same time, this really kicks off its own thing, which also leads to a Peacemaker show. Peacemaker is played by John Cena. He looks hilarious. One of the best lines in that trailer is he would eat an entire beach full of dicks for liberty. And that's kind of the character. He's really, really worse Captain America, but in different ways than U.S. Agent. U.S. Agent is effectively a fascist. Peacemaker is a fascist that doesn't realize he's so ironically zealous that he, they're fascists in their own different ways. Now that I'm spelling it all out, these are both forms of fascism, but I find the maliciousness of U.S. Agent not to be as prevalent in Peacemaker, but that might change depending on the interpretation. They both think they're right. Every villain or hero thinks they're right. No one thinks they're doing things wrong. It's going to be really fun to see Peacemaker get his time to shine in long form. Another of my favorite moments in the trailer, besides all of the King Shark goodness, is I'm a big David Asmalchian fan. I've had the privilege of working with him on a number of things, a number of interviews, we've interacted a lot. He's a fantastic human being. Just a kind soul and a talent, man. His single line of dialogue is genius in this, because in one look, one line, you understand so much about Polka Dot Man. They say this is a suicide mission, and he turns with all earnesty and says, "Full crazed, I hope so." And you get the character in one. Polka Dot Man is gonna steal this movie. This Polka Dot Man is gonna be the surprise character hit of 2021. Now this is coming out this year, if all goes well. Next year, we get 4 DC films in a single year. They did just move Black Adam. That is the other big DC news of the week. They did it in style. They had basically shut down Times Square to announce that they're moving Black Adam, because The Rock can do that. He can announce via taking over Times Square. So that means that next year we get Black Adam, we get Aquaman 2, we finally get Flash, and we get the Batman. We are going to have an incredible year over at DC next year. I don't think they've ever put out more than 2 movies. They're putting out 4. Marvel has never put out 4 because they were supposed to, and then the world shook up. So we're going to have an insane, stacked 2022 from both of the big 2, because next year Marvel's going to have to put out 4 movies, maybe 5. So we're going to have between 8, 9 just from the big 2, plus animated, plus everything else that comes from the other houses next year. If you think there's a lot of comic book stuff now, next year is going to be even crazier. Now, in addition to them moving Black Adam, we also got the announcement that they are going to be pushing Black Widow to July. Obviously, this is Marvel now. Black Widow coming out in July. That's day and date with Disney+. That's interesting to me because they've been so against the Disney Plus release, and theoretically everyone's hedging their bets that things are going to be safe by July, so it's going to be really interesting how that all plays out. We talked last week about that release strategy. We talked about Luca going straight to Disney Plus. All of that is its own conversation. Check out last week's show if you haven't seen it already. But it is going to be really interesting when the world is tenuously open. I think the rest of this year, it's safe to say, is going to feel uncertain. I don't think the next 8 months are going to feel normal. We're going to get back to a normal, but not normal. So it's going to be interesting the rest of this year. And I think it's really smart that Black Adam moved to 2022. I think it's really smart that they stacked their year next year to show us hey, DC is not messing around. It is going to be a fantastic time. So the Suicide Squad trailer, DC's big movie this year, looks like it's worth all the hype. Looks like we're in for a great time. I'm very excited to see who survives, who doesn't. I'm very excited for James Gunn to have gotten this just blank check for insanity, and the R-rated flavor is very strong in the trailer. I want more and more and more of this, so I'm very appreciative for it to exist. If you haven't seen the trailer somehow, I didn't give too much away very intentionally, go watch the Suicide Squad trailer. It's breaking lots of records, so I'm sure you've already seen it, but if you haven't already, when that's done, boom, enjoy the hell out of the Suicide Squad. All right, that is it for that section. Let's kick it over to Image Comics. From DC to Image, we've got Invincible. Invincible. It's a genius comic book. It is written by Robert Kirkman. It is illustrated by the great Ryan Ottley. And it is such a consistent run for 150 issues. It is 3 giant omnibuses. It is a powerful read, and it subverts a lot of expectations. Not only does it play with Spider-Man tropes, because the lead character is very Spider-Man-like, it also plays with Superman tropes, because his dad is very Superman-like. There's a lot of twists with that character I'm not going to give away. But it plays with Justice League concepts. It plays with X-Men concepts. but it does it in a way that isn't quite like The Boys in its full cynicism. It feels almost in line with comic books in a more direct way, whereas The Boys is a commentary on our society, Invincible is a commentary on comic book society. So it stays in the comic book commentary game. Obviously, everything in comic books is a commentary on our society in its own way. All art is commenting on our experience as human beings. All art is things that make you feel and reflect on your own experience as a human being. But what I'm speaking to specifically is the difference is The Boys is looking at us in the macro, whereas I find Invincible is looking at comic books in the micro, and it does an incredible job really analyzing the medium, really surprising you. And I'm not going to lie to you, I struggle with animated content. I've said it on this show before, I've said it many times publicly. It's a lack of connection to the actor. It's a lack of connection to the soul of the character. I have this uncanny valley thing where I don't look at animated eyes and feel like I'm with the character. Like a voice actors and voice acting is an art in itself, and I commend voice actors. I have so many friends that do that work. I just struggle to connect, me personally, and that sucks because that means there's tons and tons and tons of art that I'm not getting to appreciate in the same way. A lot of people have shown me art that they love, and I just don't connect in the same way. I do find, some childhood cartoons hit me. Pixar is able to manipulate my emotions like a motherfucker, but I do struggle with animated shows. I'm enjoying My Hero Academia, but I don't feel like it's watching a movie. I don't feel like it's watching a show with live action, so I do struggle. That said, all of that long-ass preface, the 90s style of animation is so my shit that I am able to really immerse myself in this translation of Invincible. I'm still looking for the live action movie like a motherfucker because that's my medium, but I do enjoy the stylistic choices to make this like a 90s animated Saturday morning cartoon because I'm waking up and watching a Saturday morning cartoon again, but it's badass, it's R-rated, it's a property I give a shit about, and it's new. So I feel like I just discovered a cartoon from 30 years ago that was made R-rated for me in the present. It feels like I opened a time capsule and found a Saturday morning cartoon that is my exact shit as a grown-ass man. It's a comic I love. It's a story I really appreciate. They're taking, a couple liberties with the storyline and steering here and there, and I really think they're doing a great job balancing all of the elements from the comic book that are important without bogging down on pacing issues and those sort of things. So I'm so impressed with the show. I think the best thing it's doing is it's really analyzing what works about the medium of comic books, the serialized content, and juggling things so this moves at a good TV pace. The pace of the show is exceptional. The first 3 episodes are on Amazon. They're all free if you're an Amazon Prime member, and the pace is insane. I actually put it out over 3 days because I didn't want to watch it all at once. I wanted to enjoy the 3-day experience. I can't wait for this Friday for more Invincible Friday. I think it's genius. The voice cast, my God. Sandra Oh as the mom is one of the scene stealers for me. Obviously, everything J.K. Simmons does is just perfection. I really think Yun is killing it as Invincible. I believe everyone's relationships. I believe the girl from Community as the female lead. I really buy these characters. And man, Zazie Beetz is crushing it. I love this show. Walton Goggins is exactly the voice I hear when I think about that character, that archetype of voice. Jason Mantzoukas as the character with the fire, the explode. Rexplode is genius. And seeing a lot of these characters that are really fun in the comic books translated into a medium that can play with voice acting, that can play with the style of animation, plus the animation itself. When they're flying, when they're going in and out of the city itself, you feel the rush of flight in a really unique way. You're actually with Invincible. You're actually with him just experiencing his new power set. The brutality that doesn't emerge till the end of the first episode, I thought it was really genius that they waited until the end of the first episode to be like, no, this isn't a kid's cartoon. This is a fucking bloodbath. The opening with John Hamm is so inspired. You immerse yourself in the world of Invincible by identifying with a security guard that is used to superheroes. So you care about his little mundane shit, and then they just put you in the world. So I think that's why it doesn't have the Uncanny Valley thing for me, because I'm so in the world that even the most mundane thing, like a dad wanting to take care of his kid, because it's so well acted, because it's so animated in a style that I love, I'm immersed for days. So Invincible is arguably my favorite modern cartoon. This is probably the cartoon I've enjoyed most as an adult. Dragon Ball Z was the show I grew up with, animation, in teens as a kid, Spider-Man, X-Men, Batman animated series, those are the bar. Like, Batman the animated series, I would argue, is the best translation of Batman we've ever had from comic. But right there with it is X-Men and Spider-Man. So they grabbed that era and that heart, and they fucking pushed it 20 years into now, and they gave us Invincible, and it is perfect. The show's an A. Someone asked me on my Instagram Live, between Falcon Winter Soldier and Invincible, what would I pick? And I had such a hard time because Falcon Winter Soldier is buddy cop glory, and buddy cop is my favorite genre next to superhero. I'm a Lethal Weapon fiend. I love that genre. But I might say Invincible, just by a hair, because it's really showing me the merits of animation. It's really showing me how a medium that I don't usually enjoy as much has benefits outside of what I've experienced with it. It's just a perfect voice cast. I wouldn't change a thing. I wouldn't change the pace. I wouldn't change the animation style. I wouldn't change the voice cast. It wouldn't change how it's telling the story. And I love the story of Invincible, so I am so impressed. It is near perfect. I've given no spoilers in this, very carefully. I see a couple people in the chat saying they're about to start it. It is top tier television. It's a strong A. I hope you enjoy it. I saw a couple Streamlabs pop up, so I wanted to finish my Invincible rant before I left that train of thought, but please do check out Invincible. It's on Amazon. We need more shows like this. I'm very excited. The Ryan Cross Project, our #1 voicemail lever on the Coy-Cast. If you guys don't know the Coy-Cast, that is my podcast. It's on iTunes, it's on Spotify, it's on iHeartRadio. Anywhere you cast your pods, you can check out Coy-Cast. And the great Travis, the Ryan Cross Project, leaves many a good voicemail. And we try to answer as many as we can because he leaves a lot of great ones. 007 is Dr. Fate. How are we not talking about this? The second live-action Dr. Fate ever, ... I think. You know, I thought about opening the show with that, but I'm glad I didn't, because your excitement with capital letters in this and all of the question mark exclamation points was worth it. I was like, no, we're going to open this with the Suicide Squad. We're going to get to it. In fairness, I could have mentioned it with the Black Adam delay, but here we are with the Ryan Cross Project with a very appreciated Streamlab. Thank you very much. Let's talk about it. Also, before I leave the StreamYard game, a super chat from the wonderful Hold My Brick. This kid is awesome. I spoke with him like a year ago. I just randomly FaceTimed when he was going through some life stuff, and I wanted to reach out. This kid is great. He says, "Hey, Coy, you do such an amazing job. You inspire me." Thank you, good sir. Hold My Brick is great people. I just am consistently like, dude, this guy's awesome. So send him some love in the chat as well, and thank you very much for the super chat. Let's talk about Pierce Brosnan. Pierce goddamn Brosnan. 007, a lot of people's favorite Bond because they grew up with him. I've become a Daniel Craig guy, but Daniel Craig is certainly a very different, more James Bond. Without Bourne, I don't think we'd have Craig. Pierce Brosnan was a lot of people's Bond. I've loved his post-Bond career of being so many different things, and I loved the KFC phase with that magnificent facial hair, and he's always interesting in his roles. He's always charming, he's always like, impossibly handsome guy, but he always brings a certain mischief to his roles. I think he's going to have so much fun playing this role in Black Adam. This Black Adam cast is low-key insane. The character actors they're hiring, obviously it being a rock joint, because what it's doing is it's not just a giant comic book blockbuster, it's also a movie with The Rock, and that brings its own blockbuster elements. So it's got, the blockbuster craziness, it's got The Rock craziness, now you're adding Pierce Brosnan. It's bringing us this elevation of the DC universe, and we're going into this phase 2 of DC in its own way. They haven't had phases like Marvel, but now that the Snyder Cuts come out, now that we've had Shazam come out, that kind of restructured things. We're about to have the Suicide Squad, the Batman, obviously as things evolve, Black Adam. All of this is going to really change how we feel about the DC Universe. I think it's really smart to cast this big. And Dr. Fate's fun because it's going to be, time on set, but there's also so much you can do in post. There's also so much you can do with fixing and playing with the character. In reshoots, you can do a lot with a mask over your face. Pierce Brosnan can do 100 different quotes and takes. That's the fun of Deadpool. Ryan was doing stuff on set, and those were different lines of dialogue than the ones he was doing at home. There's so much you can do with a mask like Dr. Fate's, and there's also a certain element of grandiose pedigree that needs to be with Dr. Fate. He's a very important character. He's a very illustrious character, and he's got to have a certain amount of ho-ho, and Pierce Brosnan certainly does. It is exceptional casting. I am very, very, very excited for it. I think I think it's going to be a very big movie that's going to surprise a lot of people that are just like, it's a superhero movie. I think it's going to be something more. The way he's been working on this for 11 years, the previs we've seen, the amount of effort The Rock puts into everything he does, and also how important this character is to him. Now we got Pierce Brosnan on top of it. It's going to be just insane. I'm so very excited. All right, Jason Ritchie. Mr. Jason Ritchie, it's good to hear from you. I generally don't get into cartoons myself. Invincible is only the second show that I've gotten into in 15 years. The only other one was Harley Quinn. I highly recommend it if you haven't seen it and have a chance to see it. All right. You know what? It's very funny you mentioned this. I have not yet watched Harley Quinn. The great Smack Talk. Smack Talk is one of our OGs in the Koi Cubed community. Smack Talk was like, yo, Harley Quinn is the best cartoon I've seen in years. And it has been literally like in the top 5 of my to-watch list for some time. I've only watched 3 shows to completion in quarantine, so it is like 2 or 3 away. It's probably going to get moved up because of how much I'm enjoying Invincible. I think in between Invincible, I think in times of gaps in Invincible when I am caught up, or when Invincible's over, I'm going to kick right off into Harley Quinn because I saw a very funny scene just like on TikTok. And I was like, shit, I haven't had time, nor have I given it a chance, and that is my own stupid judgment about cartoons because there's only so many hours in the day. Like there's so many good movies and TV shows, and you guys don't, like, if you're not patrons, you don't realize I watch like 20 movies a month and rate them and review them. So TV shows are like, good goddamn, there's so many hours in the day. So I have not been able to dive into Harley Quinn, but I really need to. I have HBO Max. I have the power. It's seasons, I think it's 2 seasons. I will be watching Harley Quinn very soon. Jason Ritchie, you are not the first, nor will be the last to tell me, but you maybe will be the last, because maybe I'll start it as soon as possible. Tomorrow, like I said, we're doing Fast and Furious. I'm also playing The Last of Us for the great John Getz. Many things on the docket, but I will be watching Harley Quinn very soon because there's a lot going on over there. Also, Tanner Hahn, newest patron in the Patreon. Thank you for the Patreon love, and thank you for spreading the gospel. He sees how much I put out there. I just did last week's Comics All Rated, and I also am doing my April kickoff as what I all watched in March next week. So much going on over there, plus the Patron podcast where Jake and I talk about everything we watched all week and give little mini like 3 to 5 minute reviews of every movie and TV show we consumed, much like I just did with Invincible. So there's lots and lots and lots, but I will be watching Harley Quinn very soon. Thank you, Jason Ritchie, and thank you to everyone in the Patreon and everyone watching right here. You guys are the fucking best. All right, next bit of news. Now that we've talked about the glory that is Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate, let's talk about the Mighty Ducks show. Let's go from Invincible over to Mighty Ducks. Just very briefly, it's only 1 episode. If you like Cobra Kai, and if you like this wave of nostalgia we're living in, where we're reinterpreting our childhood into modern day, highly recommend you check out the weirdness that is the Mighty Ducks. These kids are charming as hell. The writing is very funny. It's got a different take on Gordon Bombay, played by Emilio Estevez, obviously. It is a very different Mighty Ducks, and they did the Cobra Kai thing where it makes you look at who's a hero and who's a villain, and they have a very different setup. So, like I said, if you like Cobra Kai, it's that age bracket. I don't know if I'll be watching every episode, to be honest. I watched the first one, and I give it my full seal of approval, but like I said, there's just too many shows. I think it's probably more important I watch Harley Quinn than keep watching Mighty Ducks. But I do recommend you check out the Mighty Ducks if you're a fan of that genre, if you have kids, if you're a fan of that like age bracket of television. It's like a solid B+, A-. I do very much recommend it. And I'll also be jumping on, well, I can't say that yet. There's a reason I watched Mighty Ducks, and it'll be announced very soon, and it was for a show I have done before, and I'm very excited that we get to do some more of those. So, The Mighty Ducks on Disney+, coming at you, and it's a good time, so I recommend it. All right, over from Mighty Ducks to Godzilla vs. Kong. I was lucky enough to go to the drive-in premiere of Godzilla vs. Kong, so I have seen the majesty of Godzilla v. Kong, and I'm not going to give anything away, except that it is a very different movie than either the Godzilla or Kong franchise has been so far. Both Godzilla and Kong have taken themselves very seriously. Godzilla is at times very like artsy and ponderous. Kong is very like emotionally driven in a lot of ways. This is a self-aware, full-blown banana sandwich extravaganza. This thing is insane. It knows what it is. There are certainly moments of Kong Godzilla, as in like the movies, the respective franchises. There are certainly moments of the scope and emotion and feeling, but overall it's just a brawl. This movie's a throwdown, and everyone that wants a monster movie throwdown will get what they want. It isn't one of those 2 acts of build-up, the third act's the fight. This thing gets fucking going. There's like 20 minutes of build-up, then it goes insane. I'm really excited for monster movie fans because it is a monster movie that they've wanted their entire lives. There's no shortage of budget. It doesn't do that thing like Incredible Hulk did, the Eric Bana one, where as soon as the fight started, it got really dark and you couldn't see shit. They actually light the fights. The fights are well lit, and the background in the fights are just as exciting. It is a really fun time. I would definitely recommend seeing it as big as you can. I don't know how much I would have enjoyed it on a TV screen. I have a 60-inch, 55-inch. I have a decent-sized television, but a drive-in was just exceptional. I definitely enjoyed it. I would put it, in the upper ranks of monster smash 'em up movies. I would put it in the higher end. It's like a B+ for me. It's not normally my genre, but this one was just such a good time. It is way, way, way more fun than most monster movies that leave you a little disappointed. It is a good time. So I do recommend it. I gave it a B+, and see it as big as you can, see it as loud as you can. I recommend the drive-in because you can crank your car speakers and as big as possible. It was so much fun. So Godzilla vs. Kong, my enthusiastic seal of approval. It is everything you want from a monster movie. And now, because of how good it is, Adam Wingard, the director of Godzilla vs. Kong, is actually doing a Thundercats movie. So Thundercats Go is going. Very exciting. So clearly people are liking it. Clearly it's doing well. It did very well internationally. There's less domestic theaters open, so looking at the domestic numbers isn't really going to be fair, but it is a very good time. So check out Godzilla vs. Kong if you're into that sort of thing, and I do recommend it. All right, over to just quick bits of news. Those are all the big headline news stories. Now just some news briefs. They did delay Mortal Kombat 1 week. Mortal Kombat was supposed to come out mid-April. It is now coming out late April. Not a big deal, but that many more theaters will be open. That many more people will be vaccinated. It'll be that much safer. The more money it makes at the box office, the more likely you'll get a sequel. So I think Mortal Kombat's going to be exceptional. I'm a big fan of Louis Tan. I'm a big fan of Makad Brooks. I've worked with them both before. They're both excellent dudes. This whole cast is great, but I personally enjoy Louis and Makad, so I'm very invested in this movie. To me, Sonic, one of the best video game movies of all time. I'm hoping it's a 1-2 punch, and after Sonic, we get another good video game movie, and we can start pushing this curse out and having some good video game stuff. So Mortal Kombat delayed 1 week, still getting a theatrical run, still day and date on HBO Max. So late April, HBO Max and in theaters, Mortal Kombat is coming at you. Over in the world of MODOK, that Hulu original series, they had a WonderCon panel, and in it, 2 very fun cast members were announced. One of them is so perfect, and I can't believe I never thought of it before. Jon Hamm is Iron Man. Like, just think about how Jon Hamm sounds, and even looks, but that doesn't matter for this, but think about the ness of Jon Hamm. Of course he's Iron Man. It is perfect. MODOK's gonna be crazy. The second episode takes place at a Third Eye Blind concert. I want that so much. I want it now. I'm very excited for the Hulu glory. I'm so ready for this show, and that is going to just make it all the better. I'm a big Jon Hamm fan. Him as Iron Man is going to be exceptional. And the other one is a bit of meta casting in that this has been a rumor for as long as they've been making Marvel movies. Wonder Man is to be played by Mr. Nathan Fillion. At long last, it is real. Nathan Fillion is playing Wonder Man, voicing him for MODOK. I am so very excited. This show's voice cast is insane. Patton Oswalt obviously is MODOK. It is a claymation style animation coming to Hulu. It is dropping very, very soon. There's so many good shows coming out, and I'm so very excited. We also have Russell Crowe being in Thor 4. He appeared at a game with the cast of Thor 4, and a lot of people were expecting him to be announced as a cast, and now he is. I don't think he's playing Beta Ray Bill, but I did tweet that until someone is announced as playing Beta Ray Bill, everyone's Beta Ray Bill. So for me, it's Beta Russell Bill until I hear otherwise. He's more than likely playing a member of the cast of the fictional Thor recreation that, Matt Damon as Loki and you know, Chris Hemsworth's brother is Thor. It's more than likely that. But I would love if he was Beta Ray Bill. I could totally hear the gladiator power emanating out of a giant horse god. And that'd be so righteous, but it is probably not likely. It is cool to have a 3:10 to Yuma reunion with Christian Bale and Russell Crowe. It is cool to see Russell Crowe making a movie in Australia because he's from Aussie and like playing with Taika Waititi. All of that, gonna be so much fun. So I'm very, very much in. John Hamm is Iron Man. Nathan Fillion is Wonder Man. Maybe Russell Crowe is in fact Beta Ray Bill, because stranger things have happened. But until it's confirmed, up here, headcanon, Beta Russell Bill. Before we get to the Obi-Wan cast, I see the live chat has been moving and grooving. I'm going to try to catch a couple of those before I move on. We're going to talk about Obi-Wan here in a minute. After The Mandalorian, I am dabbling in discussing Star Wars, which is a dangerous thing to do, but, you know, I am willing as long as the fandom, the koi pond is strong, and so far we've only had to mute one person ever, so as long as people don't attack me for not knowing too much about Star Wars, I will talk about Star Wars. All right, let's see what the live chat has been moving and grooving and saying. Let's see. Am I excited for Godzilla vs. Kong coming out tomorrow? Is it not your cup of tea? I just, moments ago, I've already seen it. I was just reviewing it. If you just joined, about 5 minutes ago, I talked about Godzilla vs. Kong. I really enjoyed it. I highly recommend it. Very funny timing in here. Let's see. My wife and I are getting our second shots tomorrow, but we aren't going to theaters because our kids can't get the vaccines. I'll be dropping $30 for Black Widow. Darth Vader, congratulations. You're clearly a family man. Vaydad is your name. I'm very excited that you're taking care of you and yours, and I'm very excited you get to watch it at home safely for $30. That is the point of what. Harder time with the first shot, personally. Most people have a hard time with the second shot, but very excited for you to feel all as safe as we can in these times, and congrats to your whole family feeling a little bit safer. Michael McCarsell, this is the thing that's probably going to force me to get Hulu. Yeah, MODOK's going to be a lot of people converting. It is going to be real good. Michael, I honestly wasn't expecting you to talk about Kenobi. It's my single most anticipated Star Wars project, period. I am so very excited. Let's see. Hold my brick. I hope you're doing good, Coy. Dude, I'm trying, man. I'm doing as good as I can while still not in the world. But I'm adjusting and I'm acclimating. I appreciate it. Let's see, Thunderbolt, ho! I'm just grabbing random comments, so if I don't say yours out loud, I do apologize. I'm grabbing one that I can. My mom is in here. My grandpa, Poppy, is very excited for Godzilla vs. Kong because he has impeccable taste. I love that my grandparents are still in the movies. That makes me so happy. Let's see. I do not have I don't know how to stream on Twitch, so the reason I haven't Hold My Brick is just, I struggle with one bit of technology and adding more stress to the already full plate. I just haven't had time. Once the world opens back up and I'm in studios more, maybe at home I can play more. But right now, all of this is just very stressful. But I will get on Twitch at some point, hopefully. Let's see. Tanner Hahn, glad to be here. First, I quit Marvel movie news back in the day. OG fan Tanner Hahn. I remember you in the MMN days, man. Welcome to the fifth step in that evolution. We're moving and grooving. All right, that is going to be all of those things. I'm going to get back to the news. Curtis Mason, I heard a rumor a while back, don't remember the source, that Liam Hemsworth will be rated Bay Bill, but you know the internet rumors. Thank you for the super chat. It would be amazing if they did that. It is clearly a rumor, and by no means should be, even me saying it out loud, should not be even all the salt, bricks of salt, all the salt you have. But man, what a fun bit of casting that would be. Just like the Hemsworth brothers as Beta Ray Bill and Thor. It's so unlikely, but I love where your head's at. I love that we're both excited for that rumor, Curtis. We can only dream. We can only dream. But maybe Taika Waititi's done way weirder shit. So who knows? All right, back to the news briefs. The Obi-Wan cast has been announced. Obi-Wan, I agree with Michael McCarsell. Obi-Wan is and has been my most anticipated anything in Star Wars since The Last Jedi. I say it all the time, and I'm always afraid I'm going to lose everyone in the live chat, but The Last Jedi is my favorite Star Wars movie since Empire. I fucking love it. I think it did all the things I wanted a Star Wars movie to do, and then Episode 9 came out, and I was pretty bummed. So I was, not that excited for The Mandalorian, and then The Mandalorian blew me away. Mandalorian is cleanly my favorite modern Star Wars interpretation. It is very, very ahead of most competition. Bill Burr in The Mandalorian alone is enough to get me excited, but the show itself is also exceptional. I love the week-to-week format. I love that it feels like multiple arcs. I feel like it feels like an overarching arc. On top of it, the second season didn't drop in quality. Big fan of Mando. So the bar is high, because I'm now back to being a fan of Star Wars. I'm now back to casually being a fan of Star Wars. I want Obi-Wan to be everything that fills the gap in, the age is perfect. You've got bearded Ewan McGregor fitting right in between OG episode 1 through 3 Ewan McGregor to Alec Guinness. Like, Sir Alec Guinness was, 20 years or whatever older than what Ewan is now. I love that this can fill those gaps. I also love that it brings us back Hayden Christensen. I'm personally not big on the prequel trilogy myself, but I love that people that are get Hayden Christensen back. I love that he gets to redeem whatever he feels about the character. I love that he gets more time with the character. I'm really, really a fan of everything about that. And now we've got more of a cast. We've got Moses Ingram joining the cast. We've got Joel Edgerton, one of my favorite working actors, coming back to play Uncle Ben. Like, I love that this guy had a small role in the prequels and then had a career blow up over the last 20 years, and now he's coming back. That is so very exciting. I think it's exceptional. We've got Bonnie Peach, who I honestly don't know. Kumail Nanjiani, genius decision. He's in the Marvel family. He's an absolute boss. He's wicked funny. Now he's yoked as hell. I want to see Kumail in many, many things. Indira Varma, we've got Rupert Friend, we've got O'Shea Jackson Jr., another of my consistent we'll see everything he does actors. He's wicked funny in that Seth Rogen joint. He's genius in Straight Outta Compton. Hold on, Spidey, I'll feed you in a second. He's the son of Ice Cube and had to audition to play Ice Cube. Looks just like his dad. Did an incredible job playing his dad in Straight Outta Compton. Big fan of O'Shea Jackson Jr. Great in Godzilla. Speaking of Godzilla, I'm just over the moon. Now, the big casting for me, the one I'm most excited about right here, Sang Kung is in the Star Wars universe. Now, why is that exciting? Well, the thing about Sang Kung is he is Han Solo. In the Fast and the Furious franchise, Sang Kung is Han Solo, and now he's in the galaxy far, far away where Han Solo resides. Ewan McGregor is playing Obi-Wan, and Sang Kung isn't playing Han Solo, but in here, he's always Han Solo. The last name of the character from the Fast and Furious franchise is Solo, spelled differently, and justice for Han is happening in Obi-Wan, and I am over the fucking moon. I'm so in. I cannot wait for this. I'm a big fan of this actor, and just him being in Star Wars. O'Shea Jackson Jr., Sang Kung, Kumail Nanjiani, Hayden Christensen coming back, Joel Edgerton here, Moses Ingram. We've also got Simone Cassell and Benny Safdie. The Safdie brothers make a lot of very intense stuff. He was insane, good time. This is all so much fun. Obi-Wan is going to be the tits. I'm very excited. They just moved production to LA. It was going to be shooting in Boston and Europe. Now it's shooting in LA. I assume they're going to be using The Void. I'm so in for all this. So yes, please, and sign me up, and as soon as it's on, I'm there. Obi-Wan's my most anticipated Star Wars thing. Cleanly, easily, comfortably. All right, that is going to be it for the Obi-Wan goodness. We're going to be talking about the Bad Batch trailer here in a minute, the trailer roundup, just briefly. Hitman's Wife Bodyguard moves up from August to June 16th. It was supposed to come out in August. With theaters opening up a little bit more quickly, there are some gaps in the schedule, and certain studios are captivating on those. Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard is the sequel to the so much fun 2017 Hitman's Bodyguard with Sammy J. and Ryan Reynolds. Yes, obviously those two I'm huge fans of them. I'm very excited for this movie. It is now coming out 2 months sooner, June 16th, Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard. We are getting a Comic-Con of sorts in Thanksgiving. STCC has not had an event officially it'll be 2 years since 2019, and they're trying to make one happen this Thanksgiving. WonderCon has been canceled twice. Comic-Con in the summer has been canceled twice. It looks like they're doing a 3-day con in Thanksgiving in San Diego. If it's safe, I'm there. If the numbers are realistic, if enough people are vaccinated, I would love to see all you guys. I would love to be at a big event. I would love to just be and see my friends and go to bars and hotels after things and go to panels and have a panel, and now we have an event. So if there is a safe way to do a con, I'm gonna maybe reach out and try to do like some sort of thing with Comic-Con. Maybe we'll do like a Koi Pond panel. Maybe we'll do a comic book shopping panel. I'll talk to the powers that be and hope we can organize something. I don't know how many panels they're trying to have. I don't know what they're trying to do, but if it is safe, I will be there, and we will update you as far as getting a panel going, and I will keep you posted as to what I'm planning on doing. Maybe we could have a Koi Pond meetup over Thanksgiving. I think it'd be a lot of fun. It is tricky because it is the most traveled weekend, or one of the most traveled weekends of the year. It's a bold choice to do over Thanksgiving, but, you know, we'll see what happens. I live in LA, and I don't go back for Thanksgiving to see my family on the East Coast. We're not that kind of, we do Christmas, and it's a few weeks later. So I'll be here. Maybe I'll be down in San Diego. So I'll keep you guys posted. I'm very intrigued by Thanksgiving Comic-Con. We'll see what happens. I'll keep you posted. I will keep you posted. All right, let's do a quick trailer roundup because there's a lot of trailer goodness coming at you. We got the Wrath of Man trailer. That is the new Guy Ritchie film reuniting him with Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrel's own Jason Statham. It's a fucking great revenge trailer. It is so badass. It is so over the top. It is so much fun. I think this movie was called like Cash Truck before. It's about armored truck robbery used for revenge. I'm not going to give it away. Watch the trailer. The action in it is spectacular. I'm excited for some of that trademark Guy Ritchie dialogue. We don't have a lot of it in this trailer because the trailer just kind of gets the plot going. The Gentleman was my favorite movie of last year up until Soul came out. It is my number 2 favorite movie of last year. Big Guy Ritchie fan. Over the moon to get more Guy Ritchie coming at you so quick. And he's doing a Gentleman TV show. So lots and lots of Guy Ritchie coming at you. The trailer for Wrath of Man made me very happy. If you're a Statham fan, if you're a Guy Ritchie fan, this is going to be your cup of tea. It's certainly mine. Very excited. Spiral. Did not expect to be excited about a trailer for any more Saw shit. I'm not big on gore. I'm not big on horror porn. I'm not big on torture. So Saw, I was a fan of as a child. I loved the first 2. The soundtracks of those movies are fucking bangers. Like the first 2 Saw soundtracks were on my first MP3 player that didn't have a screen. It was like a click shuffle thing, but it was pre-iPod. Like, I'm old, I guess. But I loved those soundtracks. Saw 1 and 2 soundtracks are exceptional. I thought I was done with this franchise. They made another like 30 of them. I stopped watching after 4. Spiral looks like another David Fincher, like the Batman thing, where it's like 7 meets Saw. Chris Rock as a detective. Way more excited by that than I thought I was going to be. Samuel L. Jackson as Chris Rock's dad. Sure, why not? This whole trailer is David Fincher doing Saw. I'm fucking in. I'm actually genuinely excited for a movie like that's in this horror vein. So Spiral has me very, very excited. We also got a Wall Street trailer. Now, Wall Street exists. Wall Street 2 exists. This is Wall Street, W-A-H-L. Wall Street. Wall Street is Mark Wahlberg, telling his story as an entrepreneur, as someone that has like many, many jobs to keep things going, as someone that respects the hustle, as someone that likes fitness, as someone that likes Marky Mark, as someone from Boston. This documentary looks like my exact shit, not gonna lie. It looks like real life Entourage. It looks like, you know, they fictionalized Marky Mark's life and then added a lot of elements and made Entourage. And I liked Entourage. It's really douchey, but it's a good time for me. I live in Hollywood. It's a very small, close-knit group of people, so I got a lot of that show. This documentary looks like my kind of thing. I'm a big Marky Mark fan, and I'm a big fan of, like I said, fitness and entrepreneurship, so it looks great. I'm very in. I didn't think from the log line it would be for me because it seems, you know, a bit self-indulgent, and it might be, but the trailer sold me. So check out Wall Street, W-A-H-L, Marky Mac, doing his entrepreneurial best and just hustling. And I like what he's doing, hiring people and creating jobs and stuff. So I'm fucking in. Last trailer we'll be talking about is the Bad Batch trailer. I prefaced way earlier how much I'm not usually a cartoon guy. I'm going to be watching Clone Wars for the great John Getz. I do believe that is going to be our April Patron review. So if you want to know my thoughts on Clone Wars, Mr. John Getz is going to be sponsoring that watch along. I mean that review, that Patron review, later on in the month of April. I'm doing The Last of Us in March for him, and then in April we're going to be doing Clone Wars. So I'll understand a bit more what I'm looking at, I think, when I see the Bad Batch trailer. Now, from knowing nothing about the Bad Batch or anything or any of this world, not even knowing the Clone Wars, I could only understand so much of what was going on. What I understood was this action looks great, voice cast is interesting, the style of animation is interesting, it feels like Star Wars while also being very removed from everything I know, but I'm very intrigued. So it is not a show I think I would have watched ordinarily, but after The Mandalorian and after how I feel about Clone Wars, depending on how I feel about it when I've watched it, I could be very much in. The trailer was impressive. It looks expensive, which is a weird thing to say, but I like that the animation doesn't feel cheap, and I'm very, very in for the Bad Batch. So currently, right now, the Bad Batch, Wall Street, Spiral, Wrath of Man, and the Suicide Squad all had trailers this week. If you like trailers as much as I do, Those are the 5 you should seek out that just dropped, and that is the bevy of content that is coming at you this year very soon. All right, that concludes our trailer roundup. Let's talk Falcon Winter Soldier, shall we? Falcon Winter Soldier Episode 2. Up the action. My only negative is that it upped the action to the point where I feel like it kind of introduced 5 characters that are super important, maybe a little too quickly. As always, the Late Con with Coy-Jandreau, also on YouTube, is a full deep dive into my thoughts on the episode. I'm not going to talk about it for 20 minutes here because I talked about it for 20 minutes over there. If you'd like to know my full thoughts and a breakdown of all the characters that I enjoyed, check out the Late Con with Coy-Jandreau over on YouTube. Subscribe. I'm going to drop my thoughts all the time. And I just got a TikTok, and over on TikTok, I do little 1-minute videos breaking down the Disney shows and other things. So if you're interested in that, check out TikTok and the Late Con with Coy-Jandreau. That's all the time I'm giving for you to leave because we're going to dive into spoilers. Spoilers for Episode 2. If you've somehow not watched it since Friday, spoilers for Episode 2 of Falcon Winter Soldier. We got Isaiah Washington and we got Eli Washington. We got so many setups for Young Avengers in this Phase 4 that it is... I've been saying for 3 years that Phase 4 was going to be Young Avengers. I think we've seen the Adult Avengers. I think Endgame was the culmination of the Adult Avengers for now. They're going to come back. I think the next time we see Avengers, it's going to be Young Avengers. Because now we have Patriot introduced right here. We had that kid. He only got a couple lines, but he's Isaiah Washington's grandson, Eli Washington. We've got Kate Bishop coming in Hawkeye. We've got America Chavez coming in Doctor Strange 2. We've got Cassie Lang already in Endgame, the daughter of Ant-Man, obviously. We've got Wiccan and Speed introduced in WandaVision, and at the end they're dead, but not fully. Well, you hear their voices, so they're coming back. We've got most of the Young Avengers, and we obviously have a Miss Marvel show coming in its own way, its own situation. Young Avengers are all but inevitable. I am so excited to see the Patriot. I was so excited to see Isaiah Washington. And that scene, the dude only had one scene, but the acting was so powerful. You felt the weight of Captain America Red, White, and Black, the genius 2003 miniseries that character was brought to our attention with. Obviously, the commentary of the show is making us look at Under the Light is very important for our times, which it shouldn't be. The show's far too topical. We shouldn't be this regressed as a country, but we are. The scene of, sir, do you have any ID, and is this man bothering you, to the fucking white guy? Come on. Like, that is real. That is what's happening. Right now, they're doing the fucking trial for that cunt of a cop with George Floyd. All of this is far too real, and this show's only going to get more intense, and it's only going to make people more uncomfortable that should be uncomfortable. If you're a racist asshole, if you want to boycott Marvel, you don't deserve to be entertained by Marvel. It's of my opinion that if you're a prick, that you don't deserve art, so... If you have a problem with people that look differently than you, then you don't deserve art. So I love that this show is the second show out the gate for Marvel. I also love that it's going to be bold. This was supposed to be the first Marvel show, period, and that opening action set piece we talked about last week, how insane that was, and now they're going to get into the actual subtle and overt racism of the world. It's not subtle that the first Captain America was arrested for dressing like Captain America. Sorry. The next Captain America after Steve Rogers, the one before this modern wave of Captain America, was arrested. It's not subtle that they judge Anthony Mackie and not Sebastian Stan and they realize they're both Avengers. We've got all of that bubbling to the surface. I do wish we had a little bit more time with these characters. I do wish that the show was maybe 7 episodes instead of 6, because I do feel like we're flying through things. I really am looking forward to Zemo. We've already got Zemo at the end of this episode. I think we might get a little Thunderbolts action by the end. I do wonder, what the shield, the physical shield situation is going to be. Obviously, it's being wielded by John Walker right now. We saw him use it in action in this episode. We also opened the episode with John Walker to give us a little bit of empathy for a douchebag of a character, which Wyatt Russell is playing magnificently, man. He's so good at being that, guy in high school that you didn't know if he'd, punch you in the face or give you a hug. Everyone knew that guy, and he's playing that really well. And, of course, that's the guy that gets the super soldier serum. Of course, that's going to be the way America decides to hand things. So I'm really curious how that all translates. I think they're doing a really good job balancing a lot of tones, and I like that he's interesting. He's not a bad guy. He's not mustache twirling. So that'll make it really interesting when you've got, Falcon and Winter Soldier who are going through their own traumas. They're going through therapy. They're dealing with shit. And then you've got this douche nozzle that's not fully a douche nozzle. And then you got Battlestar, the other Bucky. There's so much going on very, very quickly. So Like I said, if you want to see my full 20 minutes thoughts, check out the Late Con with Coy-Jandreau, also on YouTube. There's a lot to dive into. Not enough time to do it here. We're already at 50 minutes for this episode, but I really am enjoying the show. The action has been next level. They've done such a good job. The show's written by Derek Kolstad, who wrote Nobody, which I enjoyed, who wrote the John Wick movies. It's very, very, very action-oriented. It's a lot of fun. I'm very happy with what Marvel's doing with their TV universe. And I just saw a Streamlab pop up, so let me check on that right quick before I give you guys the comic book recs and all of the jazz before we wrap up this episode. Curtis Mason! I feel like the characters introduced in the show will have cliffhangers at the end of the season, except for Sam and Bucky, just like WandaVision. I'm protecting my expectations this time, LOL. I'm doing exactly the same, Curtis. I'm really enjoying... You'll notice I'm not theorizing as much. I'm saying maybe Thunderbolts, but I'm not gonna undermine the show by trying to write my own narrative this time. WandaVision was fun because it was a mystery show. It was intentionally misleading. This isn't. I'm not trying to say, like, mutant, and I'm also not trying to, if I put my expectations here and then I don't get them, that's not fun for anybody. I'm enjoying this as a buddy cop show. I'm enjoying this as a Marvel show. I like your thought with cliffhangers for each episode, and that Sam and Bucky will have, their closure and we'll get their time with them. I'm loving that we're getting an hour with these guys every week, that we can really invest in these characters. I love that Sebastian Stan and Anthony Mackie are getting the time to really flesh out Falcon and Bucky. I agree with you completely, and I do like the idea of everyone else kind of ending on a cliffhanger, because I do think the Thunderbolts will be teased, and that'll be a cliffhanger. I do think the universe is going to be at a different shape, episode 6, than it was episode 1. I think all of that is going to be really exciting, depending on how they shape things. But, I did say Washington, didn't I? Bradley. I said the wrong name earlier, didn't I? Thank you for correcting me. Spidey meowing is a little throwing me off on this end. Isaiah Bradley are respectively Captain America and the Patriot, and I said their name wrong. Thank you very much to Nerds with Tech. Much appreciated. Isaiah Washington, is that a person? Like a real person? Wow, I got that wrong. I believed it with such heart. Anyway, I agree with you, Curtis, and I'm very, 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 very in for all of these Marvel shows, and Disney Plus is doing a really good job with these rollouts, and I'm very hopeful that they all stay this good. If they all stay this good, we're gonna have literally 100 hours of content, like a year. These 6-hour shows, 4 or 5 of them a year, that's 30 hours plus movies, not 100 hours, but like, we're talking 30 to 40 hours of genius comic book stuff a year from one studio, 4 movies a year from DC. Crazy times. Okay, that is going to be it for, like I said, check out the Late Con with Coy-Jandreau for more Falcon Winter Soldier thoughts. Briefly, Schmodown stuff, cooking up real quick. We got big matches coming. April 2nd, I believe, is Oyama versus Bibiani. April 9th is Kevin Smith versus Stacey Howard. We've also got the Shazam versus Final Exam match. We've got lots and lots and lots of goodness coming at you from the Schmodown that I'm very excited about. So keep an eye on the Schmodown as it ramps up. We're not -1 anymore, but I'd still like us to be a lot higher. So I've got a lot invested in these matches. We've got a lot coming, and the free-for-all is going to be insane. I'm really excited for the free-for-all. So that is the Schmodown update for the week. Not really a big update because there's no matches from us that just happened. I'm trying to respect the spoilers of Star Wars is dropping, but the rest I'm just excited to get into. So curls, y'all. One of the C's in Koi Cubed is curls. A number of people have asked me to talk about curls. A number of people have asked my opinion. I fell off wicked hard in March, and I talked about it last week. I'm actually really sore. That's why I keep slow massaging. I fell off wicked hard in March. I focused on mental health in March. So mental health March was my priority. I decided to do something every day that made me happy, and if I didn't want to work out, I chose not to. I've had a really rough year in quarantine. I've gone a little crazy. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it. It's a year in March. March is do what I want month. Ended up buying a car. That obviously won't happen often. Hopefully once every 5 years. That being said, I feel tired. I feel I'm not happy with how my body looks, and I'm not happy with my energy. I'm not happy with just my overall brain fog. I've just got lethargy. Some of that is probably the vaccine, because I only get the vaccine, it's a 3-week span, so I got the vaccine early March, and the second one was only a few days ago. I understand that. And part of why it was a good month to choose mental health March is it's going to be very hard to keep up a workout when you lose 2 or 3 days to the vaccine. It's going to be very hard to keep those things motivated. So I worked on up here for the month. That said, April, I'm going to go fucking crazy. April, I'm going to try to do all primitive April. So all prim April, that's the idea. I like playing with words. Mental Health March, all primitive April. I'm going to do all foods that are not processed. I'm not going to have anything that's, cooked in sugar. I'm going to try to eat just raw veggies or cooked veggies, but like just pure veggies. That's the better term. Pure veggies, pure meat. So like, season my steak reasonably and, cook it myself. Raw chicken breast, season it myself. Keep an eye on all of my ingredients and just kind of eat like a caveman. Basically, a take on the primal diet is what I'm doing for April. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to try to get in the first week. I'm going to try to do 4 workouts that week, second week 5, and then the last 2 of the month 6 workouts. So I'm going to try to get in, 12, 17, 21 workouts. That I can do that. That's easy. I'm going to do 4, 5, 6, and 6 for April while also doing a primitive diet, while also eating only fresh and trying to go to the farmer's market, trying to eat stuff that isn't processed. And basically, April is my fitness month. Mental Health March, and then April I'm going nuts. And then in May, I'm going to try to do gallon a day May. I'm going to try to keep my diet solid, but also make gallon a day May. And that is the plan. AJ Lancaster, I am going to eat raw chicken breasts. No processing, and I'm going to see what happens. Salmonella is just big government trying to convince you not to live your best life. It's all bots. And the vaccine is Bill Gates spying on me. Salmonella is a fraud. I'm not going to eat raw chicken. Someone's going to clip that out. It's going to haunt me the rest of my life. Yeah, thank you, AJ. That was funny. Yeah, I'm very excited for a very healthy April, and I'm very hopeful that it's going to clear up some of my fog, and I'm really hopeful that the lethargy from both the vaccine and from eating like fucking garbage is going to be much, much, much better. So time will tell. We will see. Gyms feel safe. When I go back to the gym, I'll let you guys know like what I'm doing at the gym, but I'll let you know what I'm doing at home. I'll let you know like what my home workouts are and all that jazz. So if you give a shit about the curl section, it's about to get mo hyphy. Yes, Mom, the Oreos were perfect, but no Oreos in April. My mom insisted I get junk food while I was sick, not sick, but symptoms from the vaccine, and she was right. Oreos changed everything. Very essential. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go through the live chat because I can only see like 2 lines on my screen. So I'm going to go through the live chat and then let's see. Quickly on the live chat, and I'm going to give you guys some comic book recommendations. John Getz, someone clip that out when he runs for public office. Chicken conspiracy ruins my public office hopes. AJ Lancaster, 2 of my OG patrons in here right now, and Michael McCarcel, 3 of my OG patrons in here right now, 2 back to back. We've got, if the vaccine is a fraud, why is my 5G so good? That's the question. That is the question. E. Walter, I too love Oreos. They are the fucking bomb. I'm going to go to the top and see what the first live chats were. Michael McCarcel, first person in here. Travis Earl, the whole Suicide Squad. Everyone is doing fantabulous. Ian, this might be my favorite comment I've seen in here. What are we? Some kind of koi pond? I fucking love that Will Smith just says the title of movies so often, and what are we, some side of Suicide Squad is my favorite ridiculous line from that first one. Thank you for utilizing it for the koi pond. That just warmed my heart. What are we? Some kind of koi pond? Excellent. Excellent, sir. He is live. Damon is staring right into your souls. You're goddamn right. You guys are active today. I'm not going to be able to read all these. Nolan Dean in here would love to the Suicide Squad be like DC's answer to Mission Impossible with a different director, bringing his own style each time and keep Harley as the consistent one. Nolan Dean, that is an inspired idea. I like that very much. I'm going to repeat that slower. Mission Impossible style, where they change directors, keep the consistent a la Ethan Hunt. Everything else can change. Keep Margot Robbie. Love that idea. I love that very much. My mom's in here being awesome. Darth Vader dad. What up? Seattle KO. Everyone's saying hi to my mom because they're fantastic. Comic Works Jimmy. I'm going to see Suicide Squad not because of James Gunn or the great Taika Waititi, but because of the great 12th Doctor Peter Capaldi. There's so many reasons to see that movie, and you just listed some of the great ones. I'm really excited for David Smallshin and Stallone. There's a reason for everybody. Everyone gets a Suicide Squad member that's going to speak to their heart. Garth McMurray's excited for Starro. Tanner Hahn, Ryan Cross Project. I am literally just naming people that I love from this koi pond community as I see them in here. You guys are fantastic. Remy's Art, the always fantastic Remy's Art in the chat. Just floating through, excellent name, and good to see you back in here. Killshot 1, also, OG Koi Ponder. Thank you very much, as always, for being in here. MWJ, a newer Koi Pond member, but always pleasant to have in the chat. All right, I think that is everybody and most of the questions. Oh, Scott Welsh. Good man, Scott Welsh. I tried to grab all the ones I saw as I scrolled very quickly. And then at the very end, the Koi Pond has become too powerful. I agree, hold my brick. It is a good problem to try to catch all the names I can. Ian, dark chocolate filling there, awesome. I don't know what that's referencing, but I agree. Dark chocolate filling is always awesome. Dark chocolate Oreos. Ooh, there's some good food porn happening verbally. And I've got to go fucking healthy tomorrow, or no, the day after tomorrow. So I've only got one more day. I'm making myself buffalo chicken quesadillas again tonight. I've got mint Oreo vegan ice cream from Ben and or Jerry in the freezer. So I'm going to spread that ice cream over 2 days. I usually eat a whole pint to my face. I'm going to make it a half pint 2 days and be respectful of the mint Oreo. Again, sticking with the Oreo theme. So I got some Ben and Jerry's action happening tonight. So tonight is going to be buffalo chicken quesadilla, mint Oreo, and a Corona. Tomorrow, Coronas for the Fast and Furious watch along. Also got chips and a whole Mexican fiesta happening for tomorrow's Fast and the Furious going thematic, and some more ice cream. So rest in peace, my current waistline, and April, I'll get you back. And April, I'm gonna get back and being in shape, and I'm gonna make curls as big as an arrow the part of the show, because man, I miss being in shape. All right, speaking of comic books, but every volume of Why the Last Man omnibuses there are on sale. Ryan Cross, good man. There are 5. It is 60 issues. There are 12 issues each in the omnibus. I believe that's how they collected it. I have them in trade. So omnibus might actually be 3. I'm not sure. But congratulations. Enjoy Why the Last Man. It is genius. All right, let's do some comic book recommendations. Comic Recs from last week, the week of the 24th of March. I highly recommend you check out Alien, #1. You heard me. Alien is going to be coming at you from Marvel because they own Fox now, so they can make comic books of Alien, and it's shockingly good. It's a really good comic book. I loved Alien #1. Highly recommend it. I can't believe how much I enjoyed that comic. Batman Black and White #4. Batman Superman #16 is really fun because it tells 2 parallel stories, and they kind of like deal with the meta commentary of comic books and storyline. It's a really good time. Batman White Knight Harley Quinn #6 concludes another of the Batman White Knight imprints. I love all the Batman White Knight books. This one's no exception. Detective Comics 1034 starts a new storyline. So if you haven't been keeping up with Detective Comics, this is a great place to start, is 1034. Holy crap, that's a lot of good Bat books. Maestro War and Pax #3. I'm loving the Maestro stories. We've also got Radiant Black #2. Radiant Black reads like a Silver Age Spider-Man comic. Radiant Black is a really cool new indie out of Image. It's only on issue 2. Jump on it. They're probably going to adapt it into a movie or something. It's very good, very consistent from the jump. Highly recommend Radiant Black. Savage Avengers 19. Jerry Duggan writing Deadpool is always going to make me happy. This is a fun King in Black tie-in. It's a big old action book. Scumbag #6. Rick Remender of Deadly Class fame, writing about a guy that has superpowers that is the actual worst. Just an asshat of a person, and he gets superpowers so people have to deal with him in the government and use him as a special agent. Great book, real weird, digging it. Stray Dogs #2. Imagine if Silence of the Lambs combined with Lady and the Tramp. It is a horror dog book. You'll see. You'll see. It's weird. Taskmaster #5 concludes Jed McKay's incredible Taskmaster miniseries. I really enjoyed it. That is going to be it for last week's recommendations. This week, the week of the 31st of March, books coming out tomorrow. I recommend Avengers. I haven't read them yet. These are the ones I'm going to read. Avengers Curse of the Man-Thing #1. Batman Catwoman #4. I cannot wait for that book. I'm loving that Cat. Beta Ray Bill #1. Maybe Russell Crowe is Beta Ray Bill. Black Cat #4. Captain America 28. Crossover #5. Donny Cates killing it. Decorum #7. Loving this title. It's a weird time. Department of Truth #7. You guys have heard me rant about Department of Truth before. Flash 768. New creative team. Excited to check it out. Future State Superman Imperious Lex. I guess this got delayed because Future State ended, but there's one title left. King in Black Ghost Rider #1. King in Black Return of the Valkyries #4. Sensational Wonder Woman 13. Silk #1. New Silk title. People love Silk. Strange Adventures #9. Symbiote Spider-Man King in Black #5. US Agent #4. X-Men 19. And X-Men Legends #2. That is going to be it for comic book recs. I do have a few streaming recs for you lovelies, but I want to make sure I get everyone in the chat. You have a great night. Hold my brick. You exceptional gentlemen. Let me make sure I got some more. Dude, that is a cool last name. Arturo Zamorano. Your first name is Arturo, and your last name starts with a Z. Exceptional. Exceptional name. Arturo, the watch along is happening right on this channel tomorrow, so subscribe to my YouTube right here. You're already here. Tomorrow, about 6 p.m. PST, if all goes well, Fast and Furious watch along right here on this channel. We do them every month thanks to Michael McCarsell. He is the patron saint of watch alongs. He's in the chat. You can thank him for making that happen. It'll be tomorrow at 6 on this YouTube. And then the next day, I'm going to be reviewing The Last of Us for John Getz, which I just started playing today. I've not been able to keep up on video games because of time, and also my friend Jenny had borrowed this one, so I'm reviewing a few hours of gameplay of The Last of Us. Like, I'm going to try to get 2 or 3 hours in and review the game, and that's going to be happening the following day. So every day on this channel is something coming at you for the next 3 days. So today, Koi Cubed, tomorrow, watch along, Thursday, Last of Us review. Spidey Cat, you okay? Spidey Cat's got a hairball and it always makes me so nervous. Okay, I didn't mean to scroll back to Oreos. Let me see. There can be Alien versus Brood now, and there probably will. Brood are Marvel's answer to Alien, and now Alien is Marvel's answer to Alien, which is very exciting stuff. Once again, thank you for the reading suggestion, Space Bastards. It's great. E. Walter, I'm so happy you're enjoying it. Derek Robertson is an absolute genius. I'm very, very happy. Just got the OG White Knight trade last week. Loved reading it online. Ian, good taste. I'm a big fan. Truly surprised they had Marvel do Alien instead of outsourcing to Dark Horse. I think they want to own it. I think they want to do their own thing, because Dark Horse had it forever. I think it's exciting for Marvel. Again, thank you, Hold My Brick. Yes, first year I had it. So good. Maybe it's a little monthly spread. Mukbang reviews! You're amazing, and we love all your shows. Do I watch horror? I liked His House on Netflix last year, but haven't seen anything new. I don't really like horror. I'm not big on people suffering, because we do that enough by existing. And I don't get the enjoyment of fear. I personally don't like feeling afraid. I also find the writing is usually not what I would want the characters to do. So yeah, in general, horror's not my thing. There are exceptions. It's usually more meta horror. I love Cabin in the Woods. I love Scream. Spiral looks interesting, but I really don't like watching people suffer, so I don't know if I'll even see it, even though it looks interesting. So it's not usually my cup of tea, but thank you very much for the Streamlab. But yeah, unfortunately, not my thing. Everyone talking about McFlurries, as they should. Coy, have I seen the better version of Indiana Jones movies called The Librarian? I've not seen The Librarian. I've never even heard of The Librarian, but I love Indiana Jones. I'm intrigued. Comic Works with Jimmy. Ian, thank you. My waistline, not so much. It's a good thing I bike like 15 kilometers a day for my commute. Scott Welsh, you and I both, man, we're feeling it, except the biking. I'm not doing that right now. All right, I'm going to give one last series of recommendations. They are streaming recommendations. It is a new month in 2 days, so there's a lot of new stuff coming to streaming. If you're like me, you sit there and you just go like, what do I watch? These are things either I haven't seen or that I love. So this list is also for me where I'm like, these are things I want to remember to watch, whether it's a movie that I give it like, an A or a B to, or it's something I've been wanting to see. So over on Netflix, on the 1st of April, you got Friends with Benefits. Love that movie, a lot of fun. The Pianist, I somehow missed. Adrian Brody's Oscar, The Pianist, I've never seen. Yes Man, I thought was fantastic. It's like a more modern Liar Liar, big fan. On the 2nd, we got a Netflix original movie with Idris Elba called Concrete Cowboy that I'm excited for, and also Sky High, which is so much fun. Big fan of Sky High if you've never seen it. Over on Amazon on the 1st, we've got Forgetting Sarah Marshall, which I love dearly. Girl with the Pearl Earring, I haven't seen. Lords of Dogtown, one of my faves, big fan of that movie. Milk is genius. Minority Report, also genius. Moonrise Kingdom, very good time. My Cousin Vinny, I haven't seen since I was a child, so I want to revisit that. That's on Amazon on the 1st. And The Lincoln Lawyer, big fan of The Lincoln Lawyer. And then on the 7th, they're getting High Rise, which is a Tom Hiddleston movie I've never seen. Over on Hulu, we've got Changing Lanes, a Ben Affleck joint that I haven't seen since it was in theaters. Chappaquiddick, which I missed. Dude, Where's My Car? Comedy classic. Garden State, also a comedy classic. Little mumblecore comedy movie. Mad Max, the 1980 version. Master and Commander, which I just watched for the first time. Really enjoyed. Highly recommend. Monsters Ball, a classic Heath Ledger movie that is far too dark but far too good. Platoon, I've never seen. And The Sum of All Fears, I've never seen. So I wrote those down for me. Disney Plus is getting Clone Wars Volume 1 and 2 on the 2nd. Clone Wars Volume 1 and 2, I believe I'll be watching for John Getz this month. Also on HBO Max, we've got Black Dynamite, genius comedy if you've never seen it. Boogie Nights, if you've never seen Boogie Nights, you gotta work on that. You got it on the 1st over on HBO Max. Caddyshack, also coming to HBO Max. Easy Rider, I've somehow never seen Easy Rider. And Fear, Fear is a classic Reese Witherspoon, Marky Mark movie that is way too much fun in its silliness. Primal Fear, very different movie, a serious drama, Ed Norton's first movie. And Wanderlust, a Paul Rudd comedy, all coming to you on HBO Max. I said all those very quickly. I apologize, trying to wrap up the show. We're at an hour and 10 minutes. I keep going over an hour, and I keep saying I'm going to go under an hour. But you guys are all here, and I appreciate your support, and I always have fun doing this show. We've got another mukbang reviews to go over. Have I seen DOTA Dragon's Blood? It's animated and so far so good at 2 episodes in. So you've picked the 2 things I don't usually watch, horror and animation. I've not heard of it. Well, I'm going to look up what DOTA is. DOTA Dragon's Blood. Dragon's Blood. Animated series. It is on Netflix, y'all. A conflicted yet courageous dragon knight must use the power of the dragon to do something it's loading. A new Netflix original series. I have not seen this. I have not heard of this, but it is available on Netflix. For those of you that like animation, this is where to find it. Here on the recommendations from the great mukbang reviews. Check out Dota, everybody. It is a dragon thing, and I like dragon things. Want to make sure. Hot Lips Houlihan. People talking about MASH? Oh, my mom, of course. Of course my mom's talking about MASH. Excellent. MASH is incredible. Big MASH fan. Alien vs. Superman comic. I do remember that. Curtis Mason. Corey, very well said about your feelings in horror movies. I also prefer not to be scared. The world's scary enough, I say. Thank you very much for the compliment. Grew up on MASH, now revisiting it. My mom's love for MASH is my love for MASH. That's where I learned to love MASH. Michael McCarcel, keep going over an hour. Michael McCarcel's got wisdom. Michael McCarcel's, keeping me going over an hour tomorrow with a full watch-along. So the man likes long-form content, just as I do. Guys, that is another episode of long-form content. That is this week's Koi Cube. That is the Koi Pond being stronger than ever. Mukbang reviews with the dragon representation. Ian Roth's going to watch that dragon show because of mukbang reviews. Michael McCarcel's happy we're going for over an hour. Oh, shit! Well, that's what you got to say. My buddy Yuri's the voice of the dragon. I've known Yuri for like a decade. I love that man. I will watch a Yuri thing. Now we know. Yuri Lowenthal, friend of the show, friend of the me. If he's the voice of a dragon guy, your boy's there. He's actually, I didn't want to name drop earlier when we were saying like, I don't watch enough animation. I was like, but my friend does so much. And I was thinking about Yuri. Yuri and Mercer are 2 of my friends that like crush at voice acting, but I never watch animated stuff. So I haven't seen like much of their work. And I know they're very good at their work, but yeah. Anyway, that's going to be it for this week's Koi Cubed. Much love to each and every member of the Koi Pond. I appreciate all of you. It was a great hang with you guys today. I'm about to wait for the sun to set, and then I'm going to watch Jurassic Park 3. For reasons you'll find out in the next few weeks, Jurassic Park 3, and then I'm going to play some Last of Us once it's fully dark, because I tried playing it earlier, and my TV was like, and I couldn't see anything. My TV was too dark for my brightness. It was a whole thing. So John Getz, I think he's still in here, about to play some Last of Us in your honor. Going to be reviewing that on Thursday. Tomorrow, 6 p.m., we're going to be watching Fast and the Furious, full commentary. Bring the Corona, bring the happiness, bring the quarter mile at a time lifestyle. Everyone in the chat, everyone at the Streamlabs, I want to thank each and every one of you very quickly. Mukbang reviews, multiple Streamlabs, very appreciated. Hold My Brick, multiple Streamlabs, very appreciated. Curtis Mason, very appreciated. Jason Ritchie, you goddamn champion. The Ryan Cross Project, Travis, excellent human being. We've got Hold My Brick again for the greatness. And Michael McCarcel kicking us off. Michael McCarcel, usually the first one in the chat, and he's going to be here tomorrow with me. Fast and the Furious. Right along his first time, his first